There are stories so ancient, so powerful, that they were buried and erased from history. But today, we uncover one of the most mysterious African myths ever told, a story of gods, betrayal, and a secret too dangerous to be remembered. But why was this story hidden for centuries? And what shocking truth does it reveal about the world today? Stay with me till the end, because what you're about to hear might just change everything you thought you knew about African mythology. Before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss more forgotten legends like this. Now, let's dive into the mystery. Chapter 1, The Forbidden Tale begins. There are stories that whisper through the winds of time, secrets buried beneath the sounds of forgotten civilizations. Some were lost by accident, others were erased deliberately. But why? What was so dangerous about these ancient myths that they had to be hidden from the world? Today, we uncover one such tale, a story that once spread across the lands of the Yoruba people, feared by kings and priests alike, a story that vanished from history, leaving behind only fragments of its truth. But what if I told you that the signs of this lost myth are still around us today? That somewhere, hidden in plain sight, the echoes of this legend still whisper their forbidden truths. Stay with me till the end, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see African mythology forever. Long ago, before the rise of great empires, before the walls of Oyo and Ife stood tall, the gods walked among men. They ruled not from the skies, but from within sacred temples, watching, guiding, and sometimes punishing. Among them was a god whose name has been all but erased from history. A god so powerful, yet so dangerous, that even the Orishas feared his presence. His name. They dare not speak it. But in whispers, they called him Okambi, the one who sees beyond. Unlike other deities, Okambi was no ruler of war, no master of the rivers or skies. His domain was knowledge, forbidden knowledge. He was said to possess the power to see beyond time itself, to unravel the threads of fate before they were woven. And with such power, came danger. It is said that Okambi's gift was not given to him, but stolen. Some believed he took it from Olojime, the supreme creator, while others say it was a curse placed upon him by the elders of the spirit world. Whatever the truth was, one thing was certain: Okambi's visions were dangerous. He saw things that no mortal, no god, was meant to see. He foresaw the rise and fall of kings before they were even born. He saw betrayals before they happened, wars before they began. And most terrifying of all, he saw the day the gods themselves would fall, the day when their names would be forgotten, their power stripped away, and their temples turned to dust. And so, the other gods made a decision. Okambi had to be silenced. The Orishas convened in secret. They debated, they argued, and finally, they decided. If Okambi's knowledge threatened the balance of the divine world, there was only one solution. His name, his stories, his followers, everything must be erased. Not just from history, but from memory itself. The temples dedicated to him were burned. The scrolls that recorded his prophecies were destroyed. And one by one, his worshippers disappeared, some fled, some were never seen again. But Okambi was no ordinary god. He knew what was coming. He had already seen it, and he left behind a message. A message so well hidden that even today, traces of it still exist. Symbols in ancient Yoruba carvings, strange warnings written in forgotten dialects, and stories that, despite centuries of erasure, still refuse to die. The question is, are we brave enough to uncover them? Chapter 2, The Betrayal and the Curse. The gods thought they had won. They believed that by erasing his name, burning his temples, and silencing his followers, Okambi would become nothing more than a forgotten whisper in the wind. But they underestimated him. For before he vanished, Okambi made one final prophecy. He did not shout it. He did not carve it into stone. Instead, he passed it down in secret, through the dreams of his last remaining priest. A message that would survive, hidden in folktales, waiting for the day when it would finally be understood. And this is what he said. The gods believe they are eternal. They believe they cannot fall. But the day will come when men will no longer need them. When offerings will turn to dust, and temples will crumble. That day, the gods will fade away, and a new power will rise. The priest who heard this message trembled in fear. But one of them, one who had secretly turned against Okambi, saw an opportunity. And that is when the greatest betrayal in the history of the Orishas began. The gods were furious. They believed that Okambi's warning was an insult, a challenge to their power. And so, when a priest came forward, claiming that Okambi had been secretly plotting to overthrow them, they did not hesitate. Shango, god of thunder, raised his axe and roared, "Enough! If Okambi wishes to see the fall of the gods, then let him be the first to fall." Ogun sharpened his blade. The spirit stirred. The judgment was passed. Okambi would not just be erased from history. He would be cursed for eternity. And so, the gods did something that had never been done before. They did not kill Okambi. They did not banish him to the underworld. Instead, they stripped him of his divine form, shattered his powers, and bound his soul to the mortal world. But not as a man. Not even as a spirit. They turned him into a whisper, a shadow, forever watching, but never seen. Cursed to wander the world, forgotten by history, remembered only in the nightmares of those who dared seek the truth. But even the gods make mistakes. For in their rage, they overlooked one thing. A secret Okambi had hidden. A single, ancient symbol that still holds his message. A message that, even today, can still be found carved in the ruins of forgotten temples, in the old stories passed down by the elders, and in the dreams of those who dare to listen. Chapter 3, The Hidden Clues and the Final Prophecy. For centuries, the gods believed they had succeeded. Okambi was erased. His temples destroyed. His name wiped from the tongues of storytellers. But they made a mistake. Because no matter how much you try to erase the truth, it always finds a way back. Somewhere, scattered across the ruins of old Yoruba cities, hidden in the stories of elders, and carved into the stones of forgotten shrines, Okambi left clues. Clues that, when pieced together, reveal something terrifying. And today, we follow them. For years, scholars dismissed these carvings as simple decorative art. But what if they were something more? What if, hidden beneath their patterns, was a message? A Yoruba historian, deep in the forest of Osun, made a discovery that sent chills through his bones. Among the carvings, he found one that did not belong to any known deity. A symbol that had no name. And when he traced his fingers along its edges, something strange happened. The air grew cold. The whispers of the wind seemed to change, as if something, or someone, was trying to speak through time itself. He took a closer look, and realized that the symbols, when rearranged, formed a warning. A message from the past, waiting to be deciphered. And this is what it said. The time of the gods will end, but the watchers remain. They whisper through the trees, they speak through the fire. When the first sun sets, and the rivers turn black, the forgotten will rise again. But what does it mean? Was Okambi predicting the fall of the gods? Or was he warning us about something worse? What if I told you that strange things have been happening in the places where Okambi's name was once spoken? Historians have reported disappearances near old Yoruba ruins. Elders in remote villages speak of shadowy figures appearing in their dreams, whispering in a language they do not understand. And most chilling of all, certain symbols that match Okambi's secret message, have begun appearing again. Not in ancient temples, but in modern cities, painted on walls, etched into the sides of abandoned buildings. Coincidence? Or proof that something is returning? If Okambi's prophecy was real, if his message was meant for the future, then what is it trying to tell us? Could it be that the fall of the gods has already begun? Or worse, is something else waking up? The forgotten will rise again. Chapter 4: Okambi's warning and the real-life events that followed. Okambi's final prophecy spoke of a time when the gods would fall, and something forgotten would rise again. For centuries, scholars dismissed it as myth. But what if it wasn't? What if real historical events? Wars, disasters, the rise and fall of kingdoms were not random, but part of something bigger. And what if the warnings Okambi left behind are coming true right now? Stay with me, because once you see these connections, you never look at history the same way again. In the 1700s, the Oyo Empire was one of the greatest kingdoms in West Africa. Its warriors were unmatched, its influence stretched across lands, and its kings claimed divine favor from the gods. But then, something changed. The empire collapsed, not slowly, but suddenly, like a giant struck down by an unseen force. Historians blame political struggles and outside invasions, but ancient records tell a different story. There are whispers that the gods abandoned Oyo, that offerings stopped working, that strange symbols just like Okambi's, began appearing on the walls of royal palaces before the kingdom crumbled. Could it be that Oyo was the first victim of Okambi's prophecy? That what happened to them was only the beginning? History is full of strange disappearances. Towns that were once full of people, suddenly abandoned without reason. And one of the strangest cases happened right here in West Africa. A thriving Yoruba city, known for its powerful priests and sacred shrines, was suddenly wiped off the map. No war. No invasion. Just gone. The few records that survived claim that, in the final days, the people saw something. Something they could not explain. Some say the rivers turned black. Others claim the statues of the gods cracked and bled. And then, one night, a storm came, and when it cleared, the city was empty. You might be thinking, this is all just history. But what if I told you, it's still happening? Reports from rural parts of Nigeria tell of strange sightings near old shrines. People disappearing. Symbols appearing overnight, carved into rocks no one has touched for centuries. And remember Okambi's last words. When the first sun sets, and the rivers turn black, the forgotten will rise again. What did he mean by the first sun setting? Could it be an eclipse? A shift in power? And if the forgotten are rising again, what exactly are they? Chapter 5: The Forgotten Gods of Africa and their connection to Okambi's story. For centuries, we've been told about the famous gods of Africa, Sango, Ogun, Oya. But what if I told you that these are not the only ones? That buried beneath the sands of time, hidden in forbidden texts, and whispered only among the oldest elders, are the names of deities that were erased from history. Who were these gods? Why were they forgotten? And most importantly, what does Okambi's story have to do with them? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear has been hidden for generations. In ancient Yoruba belief, there were gods that the people worshipped, and then, there were gods they feared. These were not the deities of justice or harvest. These were the ones that only the priests dared to speak of. One of the most mysterious was Olokiki, the Silent Watcher. Legends say he was never given temples. No sacrifices were made to him. Instead, he was said to watch from the shadows, appearing only when something was about to change in the world of men. But here's where it gets chilling. Among the few carvings that depict Olokiki, one symbol keeps appearing over and over again, the same mysterious mark that Okambi left behind. History is written by the victors, and in many cases, gods were erased by those who came after them. There are stories of entire pantheons that vanished, names that were once spoken daily, now completely wiped from history. One such god was Ajikale, the god of the unseen war. Unlike Ogun, the god of iron and battle, Ajikale was said to fight wars that humans could not see, wars between spirits, wars between the divine. The priest of his time claimed that whenever a kingdom fell for reasons no one could explain, it was Aduke who had decided its fate. And then, one day, his name disappeared from the records. No temples remain. No oral traditions speak of him. It's as if he was wiped from existence, just like Okambi. But why? Did these gods fall out of favor? Or were they erased on purpose because they knew something that was never meant to be shared? And this brings us back to Okambi. A man who was wiped from history. A man who left behind a prophecy that still sends chills through those who read it. And now, we see that the symbols he used were the same ones linked to forgotten gods. Did Okambi uncover something that the other gods didn't want the world to know? Could his warning have something to do with the erasure of these lost deities? And if so, what was so dangerous about this knowledge that it had to be buried for eternity? We started this journey seeking the truth about Okambi, but what we've uncovered is far greater than a single man's prophecy. We've seen powerful kingdoms fall under mysterious circumstances. We've learned about gods that history tried to erase. We've traced their symbols, their warnings, their forgotten whispers, and now, we stand at the edge of a mystery that has never been solved. Could it be that the stories we call myths were never just stories? That Okambi's prophecy wasn't just a warning from the past, but a message meant for us? And if that's true, then the final question remains, what happens next? We've uncovered secrets buried for centuries, but this is only the beginning. What do you think? Was Okambi trying to warn us? Are these forgotten gods truly gone, or is their influence still at play in ways we can't yet see? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've made it this far, don't stop now. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because there are even more lost African mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.